Hello, and welcome to a new season of Candor Beach. Today, we're going to talk to you about the war that's hotting up in the Middle East, Iran, Israel, and of a potential recession that the Fed may induce into America. So, without further ado, Sailesh, what's happening with Iran and Israel?
Oh yeah, it's everything's heating up in Middle East, man. It's like a powder keg. So first we have everything was cold, there was just proxy war. There was this Hamas and Hezbollah, which we was being funded by Iran, fighting Israel. So now there is direct violence. So what happened was Israel went and attacked Iranian embassy and killed two of its commanders, and there were seven casualties. This angered Iran to the core. So this brings up everything direct conflict. So Iran launched 300 drones. It launched ICBMs. This is heating up Israel's entire air defense system. So you have the what do you call the Iron Dome system being used,
Yeah.
and then they brought out the new system called the David Sling, which is mid-range to long-range missile defense. So if you look at it, the Iron Dome is like short range. So it is for missiles which are coming very close to the perimeter of Israel. But this sling is basically for ICBMs, drones. It can take down all this stuff. This is
So,
this is
what's
new
Israel
technology.
done?
You see the
So, has Israel
um,
responded?
yeah, Israel is waiting for the defense, but I think Israel has already been backed by America. Biden came and said they're going to unconditionally support Israel if Iran attacks. So, what are your thoughts on this? It's everything's heating up. How does it impact the geopolitical strategies?
To begin with, we are going to see higher oil prices. We've already seen oil climb from $70 to $90 over the last quarter. Additionally, we've seen quantitative easing recently. Biden signed a $1.2 trillion deal to keep the American government going. And finally, we've seen unemployment rates being steady with month on month job numbers increasing. So, what this does is it keeps inflation high because spending has not been curbed. When inflation is high, and the Fed's been talking about pushing down inflation over the last 2 years, the Fed's not happy. So the Fed's going to want to take action soon. And here are the areas that are going to be impacted as I see it. You're going to see the commodities market getting impacted. You're going to see treasury bonds, equity, employment, and other assets like cryptocurrencies being affected. So, as an example, with the commodity market, typically when you see rate hikes or drops, gold is directly impacted, right, as a safe asset. Further, copper might be impacted because it is heavily used in industries. So, let's say the Fed introduces a recession, companies are going to find it more expensive to borrow money and they're going to spend less. And so that might impact copper. Now, circling to India, Sailesh, how do you think this affects India?
So one of the major impact on India, like you said, if the oil goes up, right?
Yeah.
So imports get expensive. This it'll actually affect the price of the rupee. It weakens the rupee. So if the rupee weakens, there
Mhm.
is going to be a strain on the reserves, the foreign reserves India is holding. This is what typically happens. However, this didn't happen. Rupee stayed stable, and the reserves also increased. So I think that is because of India is buying a lot of oil because of the Russian discount.
Further, we've also seen an increase in, or we will likely see an increase in FDIs into India because as costs in the West go up, they're going to have to be subsidized because every company is going to want to grow over a period of time, right? So costs in the West are likely going to go up and they're going to need to be subsidized somehow. And that's likely going to see that labor come down to India. Why India versus the other countries is because in India, you have cheap labor. China used to be that center, but because of China's labor shortage and economic slowdown, you have seen a shift in focus, and India has captured a majority of that shift.
So if you look at it, yeah. So Tesla is actually looking forward to invest big in India. They are looking at 4 states to set up their shop, whichever works best for them. There are other companies too. What do you think are other companies looking at?
You know, with the Chinese slowdown and the global turmoil, we've talked about turmoil quite a bit over the last several episodes. Because of the global turmoil, Taiwanese companies are now looking at diversifying out of Taiwan for in case China chooses to take over the country. So
Hmm.
overall, companies are in flux. Companies are moving away from China and they are looking at alternatives. And I think India is well positioned at this point in time to capture that. So,
Hmm.
to conclude, what are your thoughts on the impact on the week ahead, in specifically to the Indian stock
So
market?
I think there will be, there will the market will bleed because of the geopolitical shocks. A lot of the psychology, it's more like a psychology thing, right? How people react to these kind of major events. In my perspective, it's not financial advice. I think market will go down next week, but it will sustain not a lot of drain. What is your
Okay.
perspective?
You know, honestly, eh, we've seen a lot of wars break out over the last couple of years. Ukraine and Russia obviously had a strong impact on the market. We saw the market collapse, but when it came to the
Hmm.
Middle East, it didn't impact the market so much. Like it should have, but the impact wasn't as pronounced. Even with the
Hmm.
ship redirects, even with Hamas, the uh, the Red Sea channel being blocked, there wasn't a huge shift. So I agree with you. Like psychologically, there is a potential for the markets to drop a little, but I think it's going to hold. I don't think it's going to do
Yeah.
anything dramatic to the market.
I have something funny to say. Like if you
Go for
like
it.
because because the market didn't react to Israel Gaza war starting because I feel like it always goes on. It's always there. Like Russia, Ukraine is something new. And that's what caused the major drop in the market.
I get that. I agree.
I'm being I mean many people might think I'm being stereotypical, but psychology is psychology.
Yeah, man. Agreed. All right
Yeah.
then. So guys, thank you so much for watching our first episode of the new season. Let us know what you think. And as always, please, we welcome comments and feedback. Thank you very much.
Like,
And
comment, subscribe.
what he said. All right. See you guys on the next
Thank
one.
you.